and welcome back to the PM stream here of Sin City Crypto. My name is David, and on today's show, like we do every evening show, we're taking a look at cryptocurrency projects from a fundamental and a technical standpoint. That's all we look at. We don't look at news. We talk about projects, price action, where to get in, where to get out, fundamentals. Also, if you're new here, welcome. My name is David again. I'm usually joined by a co-host, Robin. In honor of him today, I'm wearing his face shirt that we got made. I don't know why we got it made, but we got it made for a reason. Anyways, I'm excited to have you guys here today. You know, we ended the morning stream, and as soon as we got done, by the way, shout out to SPCX, whatever, got their $100. They were the winner this morning. We gave away $100. Maybe I'll give some money away on the night stream. Who knows? But as soon as we logged off the morning stream, Bitcoin had plunged. When I say plunged, well, exaggerating a little bit, right? To 82K. Okay. So let's take a look at what Bitcoin did. And that's also the name of a podcast as well. My computer stops freezing. There you go, computer. Good job. Good boy. I guess that's what the kids are saying in school. Good boy. Anyways, let me find where we ended the show. This was 12 p.m. Pacific time. We wicked down to 81.9. And my initial reaction was, here we go. Bitcoin's price is going to dump. We're going to hit that low 80s benchmark. But actually, we got stopped out at the top end of this channel that we have put out. Again, on the live show. And I'm going to zoom out to the daily. You can see, you know, we were having this conversation like, okay, if we lose 84.5, the big number for me was 87.2. A lot of traders, one of them being Scott Carney, he's on the 4-hour chart. He's talked about if we lose 85K, which would be right there. And let me make this a different color. Let's go purple on this one. That if we lost the purple line on the 4-hour, then we're going straight to 71. And let me actually search him up. Now, this gentleman here is he's a pretty big name in the world of trading. And so where is that? I think it was right here. So 4-hour already failing 86K. It closed under 86. Okay, so it was 86, not 85. Would trigger the deeper slide to 76. Still no confirmation, needs to do something today or the scenario plays out immediately. And so, of course, that's just one person's opinion based on how he interprets the chart. Doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what's going to happen, but it is a real possibility as you look at the daily or the 4-hour chart here on BTC. And it did close 2 candles now below that 85. And you know what? Let's move this up to his 86K level. And we've now officially had 3 candles close below this key level, according to Scott Carney. But we are seeing a little bit of a bounce back at that 83.4. We're currently trading at 84.6. But I would caution everyone, if we see a relief rally, unless something fundamentally changes in the narrative, in the structure of the chart, I think we're going to get another spill off. Again, I'll reiterate, max pain for me is 71,887. Does it get there? I don't know. Is it likely? Right now, for me, the way the market's going, yes, it is very likely. Now, the question is, how do we make money, right? If you're like me, you own a crap load of Bitcoin in your portfolio, great. I personally don't plan on selling it anytime soon. I definitely don't plan on selling it at 84,000. I definitely don't plan on selling it at 71,800. So how do we make money and how do we essentially hedge our spot positions that we're long in? Well, all we got to do is find areas of resistance in a market sentiment which we're in now and be able to short those levels of resistance. One other thing I noticed here on the chart, you have this 3 black crows pattern. Now, this isn't, we're talking about chart or candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. Now, this doesn't necessarily, it's not as bad as if we saw this at the top of the pattern, because typically that is a reversal signal. Okay, we almost had one here. And if this price would have closed below that 92K level, this is back on the 20th of December, we would have had that confirmation that indeed the move to the upside was finished. I went back, I had to go all the way back to 2022 to find a similar pattern with candles of at least 4.5% that closed in the red, and it was during a bear market. And again, it didn't come at the very top of a move, which would signal a reversal. But still, what you're seeing here with these three candles is sellers were completely in control of the price and the charts, because we really, at least on this first candle here, we had no wicks to the upside or downside. The candle in the middle, we saw bulls gain a little bit of momentum here. As you can see, the bears pushed the price down to the 86K level, but we ended up closing at 88.4. And then the last one from 23 hours ago, right? Yesterday's candle, because this one we're looking at is a new one. You saw more strength from the bears pushing the price down. So I would caution people to not enter into any sort of large leverage long. And we've kind of seen this throughout, and on the 4 hour, I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And again, this bear flag pattern that ended up breaking to the downside. And what are you seeing now happening on the chart? Okay, you're seeing something very similar. You're starting to see the formation of another bear flag, right? A large move to the downside, and now we can start seeing some price action to the upside. Now, if we go back to the last pattern, how big, let's take a look like this. Where did we get to on our fib level before this thing broke? So we got to about our 382 fib level. And if we plot that same, if we draw the fibs similarly, and there we go. If we draw the fib similarly to this move, and let me pull the fib here, go from top to bottom, we are currently at our 382 level from top to bottom, and that is where we broke out to the downside from the previous bear flag pattern, again, on the 4 hour. So could we see Bitcoin break from this 84.7 level down into this zone? Potentially. But that is what I am looking to do. That is my strategy for the current market segment, or current market sentiment, is to short the resistance levels. Unless we see the structure of this chart break, and really for that to happen, the first level you want to claim is at 87,257. And then the next, the one I can argue is much bigger is going to be your 92,449 level, right? That was held as very, very strong support going all the way back to November 19th of last year. As you can see, every time Bitcoin bounced off of this 92 level, we saw big rallies to the upside. And obviously with us losing that level, that changed the structure of the chart. So that's one thing I'm keeping my eye on. But again, for BTC at least, 71,887 for me is max pain. Let me know what you guys think. What is your max pain scenario for BTC? So yeah, I thought David said this is fundamentals. I said fundamentals and price action, okay? Mohammed, what's up, brother? Decrypto, Nick Dunn, who is here from the Candle Mafia. Let's go. Love Frankie Candles, one of my favorite people in the entire space. Istophobic said, I want 25% tariffs on Bybit. Very interesting what happened with Bybit. Also, guys, is there anything you want me to take a look at or give my opinion on? I'm going to talk a little bit about, we'll go through some fundamentals, some metrics. We'll obviously go to charts. But there's two sectors really that kind of tie in together that I really want to focus on today, and some potential money-making opportunities with what I believe is going to be the next really big narrative of the run, which is RWA. And within that, I think part of that is going to be stable coins. We saw the Bank of America CEO. We kind of share that in the live show today. So if you're looking for more news style focused, opinionated on news, watch our morning show. This one, we're going to break down what that means for projects, what that means for price action. So I have I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects that fit that stable coin RWA narrative that I'm going to share with you guys, and we'll hop in and see which ones are worth taking a potential shot at. Andrea, what's going on? Also, Verhoofdie Flufen said, what's not going to zero? Oh, that's just Muhammad, bro. It's okay. We like Muhammad. He's funny. Litecoin, Litecoin has shown a lot of strength, man. I was laughed at when I said Litecoin is going to make a new all-time high. And you can laugh at me again, but Litecoin will make a new all-time high. Where's that Litecoin chart? Here we go. I mean, you want to talk about showing strength in a big market downturn? Litecoin was up yesterday when Bitcoin went down. It was up 8.5%. Let's throw Litecoin versus BTC and see what that chart looks like. Where are you, Litecoin? There we go. Litecoin against Bitcoin. I mean, it's been rallying, right? it's really been rallying against BTC outside of one deviation to the downside. I mean, this is a pretty standard trend line, right? And so Litecoin is grinding up, making higher highs, higher lows. And you can also argue that this is a potential setup, and we're actually seeing the breakout now of a reverse head and shoulders pattern, right? There's your shoulder, there's your head, and there's your second shoulder. You can argue that this was, as a whole, was a second shoulder, but still, we're seeing a breakout there for Litecoin. And so with the ETF filing, with it being around as long as possible, and looks like the bottom we got was back in November of last year, and again, making higher lows. Now it's missed out on a couple of higher highs, but this chart looks good. So if you've been in Litecoin versus being in Bitcoin since November, you have gained, right? Because the whole idea is, all right, Bitcoin is the safest, right? You would have gained an extra 84% being in Litecoin versus having your money in BTC. And so I'm a believer in Litecoin. I don't give a shit if you want to sit there and say, well, it does nothing. People use it for payments. It's got the privacy layer with the Mimblewimble. And literally every single company, every single project, every single institution that starts getting into crypto, there's 4 cryptocurrencies they always have: Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin. Sad to say, Bitcoin Cash. Those are the 4. PayPal, same thing. I think Robinhood started with the crypto, same thing. And so it's accessible, it's liquid, it's got a large enough market cap, and it's been around for a very long time. And just the perspective of the average person, Bitcoin, Litecoin, oh wow, they sound similar. They came out around the same time. Obviously, Bitcoin came out a lot earlier. Wow, Bitcoin's at 90K, Litecoin's only at $100. At least for me, when I got in, that was kind of my thinking, being a novice in the space, is, well, I don't have enough money to spend on one Bitcoin, but I do have enough money to spend on a few Litecoin. And so it's just that narrative plus everything I mentioned. I'm bullish on Litecoin. It's not my biggest holding by far, but to simply fade it and say it's not going to make a new all-time high, I think is misguided and wrong. All right. Let's take a peek at the markets, and then we'll jump into some stats. We're going to share some metrics on Bitcoin and take a look at some volume flows. Where has money been flowing into? We had the NVIDIA report come out, what whales are doing, and then RWA, and then my 6 altcoins that are in the stablecoin space that I believe are going to be big beneficiaries of everything we're seeing with stablecoins, with Bank of America, and legislation getting ready to pass. Banks are literally foaming at the mouth, looking at how much money Tether has made with the amount of relative to their overhead and their debt and their running business costs. It's a absolute no-brainer to be able to have money flow back and forth through your ecosystem via stablecoin 24/7. That water faucet never shuts off, right? That revenue faucet never shuts off. And so it's an absolute no-brainer. And there's going to be a few projects that benefit from that shift. Now, taking a look at the markets, ETH at 23.31. We'll take a peek at an ETH chart a little bit later. Someone in the chat asked about XRP. I am a bull of XRP. I was against, I've always held XRP, but I was kind of against adding to my position. And for me, might be a little bit of an ugly setup here for XRP. I mean, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? Right? Left shoulder, head, and your right shoulder. And we've actually broken down from this. Now, the measured move for this head and shoulders pattern on XRP, it ain't going to be pretty, so hold on tightly here, would be around $1.31, which if you zoom in to the monthly, right, that's what I like to do. I like to zoom out as far as I can to be able to find some just key levels of support and resistance on the longer time frame, and then zoom in and see what price has done on the shorter time frame. Now, I would argue this would be my discount box, right? My buy zone for XRP. This is between, and I'll throw some flags on here so you guys can see. Now, remember, this is on the monthly time frame, so each candle represents 30 days. Now, the upside, or the top part of this rectangle here, is $1.57, and on the bottom end you have $1.14. And so We plotted this on the live show this morning. There is a lot of altcoins that are in this discount zone. And that move, look at that move where that would take us. That would take us right into our discount zone for XRP. If you can scoop up XRP sub $1.50, you are going to make a lot of money. Of course, nothing's guaranteed. I'm not giving you any financial advice, but breaking out of this head and shoulders pattern, the measured move kind of coinciding and conflating with what we're seeing on the bargain, the basement bargain prices for XRP. And this is a project that I know a lot of people from just an anecdotal, personally, people I know who watched XRP rally from 50 cents to $3.50, said, oh my God, I missed the boat. Hit those people up, pick up the phone, call them, text them, say, look, you wanted XRP at $3.50. Well, guess what, my friend? It is currently on sale for 38% off. You can get the same exact XRP. It does the same exact thing, but for a 38% discount. And so my biggest thing with XRP was the Ripple Foundation coming out and saying, look, we want the price of XRP to remain stable. Me as an investor, I don't want to invest in an asset, especially in cryptocurrency, that has risks, but that the company that issues the currency wants it to remain stable. But you see what they're doing behind the scenes. You see how the market reacted to it. You see sometimes what Ripple wants for a stable XRP doesn't necessarily happen. And that is kind of what we saw as, again, XRP just smashed. I mean, you look on the way up for XRP, we had literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive daily candles of large liquidations to the upside. So as price was moving through these key levels, that 55 cent and then that 88 cent level, and finally getting up to this $1.14 where we saw our initial line of resistance, we saw 8 consecutive candles of liquidations to the upside. So there was velocity behind the move. And you can see we remained oversold on XRP from Monday, the 11th of November to the 4th of December. For a solid 3 weeks, we remained in overbought territory and XRP just ripped. And so if we get back down to this level, I would do one of two things, or you can do both. Enter into a long position and to make it easier for yourself. You can actually put in a limit order for $1.55. And if you don't have an exchange you're using, or you want to try a new exchange, we are partnered with Buy DeFi. And so the reason we like them is because they're US based and no KYC, no verification, no VPN. And so they have XRP. I think you can trade it up to 100x leverage. And so you want to make it easy, put a buy order in at $1.56. You want to get frisky, you think it's going to go a lot lower, put another one in at $1.15 and you'll make a lot of money on top of potentially adding it to your spot bags. And then the rest of the markets, BNB also holding up very, very strong. And you know what's crazy is the altcoin markets, especially yesterday when BTC was trending down towards that lower 80K level. Yeah, this pattern, you know, I'm happy I have this on here. We talk about patterns all the time and probabilities. The probability of this bull flag breaking out is like 72%, which it did. It started to break out and the market conditions changed. So we can go ahead and get rid of all these drawings for BNB. Now, again, let's start with a quarterly. Let's zoom out on BNB for the quarterly. And one level I see immediately for BNB is here. Right there. So that is between 506 and 563. To me, that is a great place to buy BNB. The other level would be right around $316, but I don't think it's going to get there. And you can see this box I have plotted here. Look at how price has reacted in this area, right? Even when we deviated outside of this box, BNB came back and took back that entire loss in a matter of 2.5 weeks, gained 30%. We come down to 484, BNB rallies 28%. And so every single time price has dipped into this region, the price has reacted positively. And so it looks like we are potentially headed down there now. We're actually sitting on X resistance turn support, right? Which is going to be right here at 604.36. And you can see resistance, 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 right? We reclaimed it. Didn't really hold it as support as we consolidated and then lost it. Resistance, 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 resistance. Blew above it and then came back and retested this 604 price multiple times on wicks and on closes. And every time we got a bounce back outside of the last deviation here, which happened between the 2nd of February and the 7th of February. But we reclaimed that, and it looks like it is holding as support now. But if we fall, I am looking at entering into a long and actually adding to my spot bags at around $565 for BNB. And this trend line here also, I mean, this thing is pretty much as clear as day, right? I can even extend this out a little bit more here, right? And so this trend line, again, support flipped into resistance. So now on the way up now, if you like putting in a TP, right, take profit targets, you're looking at anywhere a little over $700. Now, with the current market conditions, I wouldn't put your take profit there. I'd go down to the lower time frames to try to find some key areas of resistance and seen how prices have reacted for BNB. But again, multiple bear flag patterns that break to the downside. We kind of saw it now, although this was invalidated. We did cross that 50% threshold. So that bear flag to me was invalidated, but we could see something like a double bottom here or essentially a triple bottom here for BNB. So I'm long BNB on 604. I'm long BNB and adding to my spot bag at 565. That's my thing for BNB. And I joke about this all the time, but you look at BNB and Tron, they're like the two best hedges against downside and against bear markets. I think I shared a chart. Let me just go to on our X page, and I'm doing that. Take a swig of water. So I posted this chart. It's kind of funny, but not really funny. It's just right here. Look at this. Okay. This is Tron, ETH, Bitcoin, Cardano, BNB, and Chainlink. This is going back and measuring, and you can see the yellow is a measurement of what price did during the entire the year of 2022. These are yearly candles, 12-month candles. ETH, 67% loss. Bitcoin, 65% loss. Cardano, 81% loss. BNB, 51%. Link, 71%. And Tron, only 27% to the downside during 2022, which a lot of people say, and I kind of agree, was possibly the worst the worst bear market in crypto's history, right? And I mean, you look at this. This is the monthly chart for Tron. Really no big pullbacks here. I mean, so if you're looking for a value area to get into Tron, I mean, you kind of got to wait till like 16 cents. Will it get there? I don't know. We know this coin is heavily manipulated by its founder, Justin Sun. You also know that the Tron Foundation holds a shitload of TRX. You know, actually, let me go check this real quick. I'm curious. So I'm going to coincarp.com, and we're going to look at Tron. Top 10 holders control 22%. And so this wallet is not, so this is the largest wallet holding Tron, which holds 8.8%. Now, this is not labeled, so I'm going to assume this is the Tron Foundation. Now, we could go to a Tron, the Tron scanner and check and see if there's a label there, but I'm not going to. I'm not interested. But you can see here, one entity holding 8.8%. And so what does that mean in terms of downside? It could be a good thing, right? It could be a good thing. It means as long as the foundation is not selling like the ETH Foundation, then you have less potential sellers versus projects like Cardano, projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, where it's less, or it's less control by one or two entities as far as a percentage of the supply, and you have more potential retail or institutional sellers out there that could drop the price of the token. Doge is like one of two, maybe three memes that I'd be comfortable being in right now and kind of holding. And this is the level I had for Doge. And you know what? Let's get rid of this level. And let's see what the quarterly shows. So the quarterly, we're kind of at the key support level, right? Or kind of our discount buy zone. And if we go to the monthly, the area I'd be looking at would be like right here, right? And so you see this across the board. A lot of these altcoins are at very high time frame support levels. And so, sure, could it have more downside? Absolutely. Could Doge go down and retest this bottom end here at 15 cents? Sure. But what if, just what if, this ends up being an amazing buy zone? Because the last time price got up here, this was back in 2024, we saw a spill off from 21 cents down to 10 cents, so 50%. And then Doge ends up rallying. It ends up 5Xing. So if you bought here, you would have sat through a 60% drawdown, but in a matter of 1, 2, 3 months, you would have made a 4X. Actually, you would have made a 5X on your money. So you look at risk to reward. Am I willing, right? The opportunity risk of sitting on the sideline and potentially waiting for that 15 cent level, or maybe we dip down to that 11.5 cent level, versus a flip switches, whether it's in the government, legislation, whatever the case may be, sentiment changes, something big happens and everything starts moving back up again, and losing out on that 5, 6, 7, I don't know, maybe a 10X for Doge, maybe a $2 Doge, who knows? But this is one of the few that I would feel comfortable being in as far as meme coins. And just to zoom into the daily and take a look at what price for Doge has done in this area. This has been an area of consolidation. This has also been an area of resistance. This has also been an area of support. Although more recently, going back to this large liquidation candle on the 3rd of February, where we saw a wick down here, but price continue to kind of fall down. So we didn't get a relief rally out of this. Doge has really been down and to the right since the 18th of January, right? We took out this high here back on the 6th, and then ultimately just completely spilled off. I only see like 6 green candles in this chart for Doge. And so part of it is the whole meme coin blow up of pumped out fund. The other part of it is people were expecting the markets to move faster. And, you know, Doge, really, right now at least, no institutions are getting into Doge. They're not holding Doge. Outside of Elon Musk, no one's really talking about Doge and, you know, whether it's in a serious way or a funny, joking way. And so, but again, if you want a position on meme coins, Doge and maybe like 2 or 3 other was what I'd feel comfortable in, because the rest of them, I think a lot of them are going to bleed to zero. And then you have Chainlink at $15. Kind of talked about that this morning. Super bullish on Chainlink. And that is also in our discount buy zone. And then something else, XLM and SWI. SWI had, you know, I've studied SWI chart a little bit, and SWI's got a lot of the Solana-like, really everything. Solana price action, Solana narrative, Solana, like I said, literally everything. Now this one, we're going to zoom into the weekly. And our discount zone for SWI, we're there. We're there. $2.53, right? We've already given up around 75% of this move from $1.69 all the way up to $5.70. I think SWI is going to be a project that's going to remain relevant. You know, their entry into gaming, they're super fast, scalable, like all that. Plus, they have a ton of money behind them. And so SWI is another one. If you've been looking at entering, here's the thing. When markets get hot, we shouldn't enter the markets, right? Or if you're going to enter the markets, have a DCA strategy and plan on holding for a long period of time. These are the times. Doesn't matter if it's a bear market or a bull market. If it's a bear market, cool, DCA on the way down. If it's a bull market, these are opportunities to either enter into a new position or add to your existing position. All right, we'll take a break, drink some water, take a look at the chat, say hello if you're new here. Also, if you want me to look at anything, let me know. Poman said, I think Dave is mad at me. Well, I'm never mad at you, bro. I like you. You're a good dude. What's up, Redman? Todd Keaton, don't let the big dog shake us out. Hold, they want us to buy low. Yeah, man. Todd, I agree. There's definitely games being played. We know that what they're doing with the futures and the spot markets, with the ETFs, long to future, short to spot. And so spot is where the price action happens, right? Because it's the actual token representing the ETF. Futures is just we're betting on what the future price is going to be. I don't enter longs. I just hold for a long time. That's completely fine too, man. If you're not a trader, that's okay. That's okay to not be a trader. You can swing trade your positions without leverage trading or derivatives trading. I like to add trading into my bucket of things I do to make money. I get wrecked sometimes. Cool. I'm prepared. That's why we always say, whatever amount of money you decide to trade with or invest with, it's always got to be an amount you're comfortable with, because anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. We just don't know. Can we make fun of Ben Armstrong on the night? Nah, man. Ben, and I'll spend like 2 minutes on this. When we first started the business, Ben really was an inspiration, right? He was actually the inspiration to, instead of going the more financially set route or the more financially sound route of, hey, just a camera and a microphone. This is like $200. Bought this camera for $200, and this setup here you can do it for like $2,000, right? When we went down to his studio and we saw the size and the amount of employees and how it's run as a business, we were like, yo, like, we want to go all in on this thing. This is what we want to do. I'm not going to comment on his legal troubles or anything going on, but he definitely, with him personally, at least, some shit went awry with him. I'm not going to get into the details of what happened. But it sucks. But one thing I will say, that video he uploaded talking about his mental health, I think that takes a lot of balls to do that. And so, I don't know if Ben watches the show, but if you are, man, props to you for doing that. But it's just, we don't have any, I personally don't have any animosity towards the guy. I hope he succeeds in life. He's got kids, his own, his business and everything. So I don't ever wish ill will on anyone, but, at the end of the day, he's a human being. And so people make mistakes, people mess up. But you gotta have the courage and what's the word I'm looking for? Not to be too prideful, to admit your mistakes, apologize to people if you made a mistake, and move on and be better. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I know him and Rob talked on the phone, and they're like, hey, look, let's just squash this whole publicity, the public thing where we go back and forth. I'm totally fine with that, man. I don't care. I am so focused on trying to blow this channel the fuck up. We're at 92,000 subscribers. I want to get that damn play plaque, that whatever this is called, that play button, the YouTube play button. And so that's definitely what I'm trying to do, and I'm focusing on that. And, I wish Ben nothing but luck in his future endeavors. Irish Red said, you said the exchange you use is no KYC and leverage. Correct. Well, you can use leverage. Yes. It's called Buy DeFi. There's actually a link. You know what? Let me post this link. By the way, if you guys are traders, we're actually currently running a trading competition where we're giving away $300 a week to the highest ROI trader. Okay. The highest ROI trader gets $300 a week. And at the end of the 4 weeks, we are going to, I'm trying to pull up this page so I can show you guys. And at the end of the 4 weeks, what we're going to be doing is, that's right, is we're going to take the top ROI, the top 3 ROI. First place is going to get $500. Second place is going to get $300. And third place is going to get $200. As you can see here, and I'll show you where we're at currently. Cancel. So last week's winner was B615. They got $300. This is not your average, like, oh, well, it only counts as bonus money, and then you can withdraw after 7 days. No, $300 in stablecoin deposited into your spot account on Buy DeFi. You can literally pull it out the very next second. So we're doing $300 a week. We've already given the first. There's 3 more weekly giveaways for the top ROI, and then at the end, we're giving $300 to the highest volume, $500 to number 1 cumulatively for the 4 weeks, $300 to number 2 ROI cumulative for 4 weeks, and then $200 to third place. So it's a total of around $3,000 that in partnership with Buy DeFi that we're going to be giving away. So if you're a trader anyways, and you're trading, sign up with the link. You'll be automatically entered, and you can potentially win $1,200. The only stipulation is you got to have 100K in volume. That's it. You got to hit it one time, and you're good for the rest of the tournament. I talked to a few other exchanges. This was a while ago. to do something similar, and they wanted 1 million in volume. I said that's too much. I mean, I'm sure some people can hit it, but the average person ain't gonna hit 1 million. So 100,000 is essentially 10 trades, $500 at 10x leverage. So it's a pretty low barrier to entry. So shout out to everyone competing. And looks like first place right now, I mean, the markets have just annihilated everyone, is B37, B378. So I don't know if you're in the chat watching, my friend, but if this holds, I'm about to send you some $300, man. That's a lot of XRP. It's a lot of Caspa. It's a lot of, I don't know, some crazy meme coin. But I hope that answers your question, Irish Red. And again, if you're in the US, it's no KYC. All right. Let's take a look at some metrics here for Bitcoin. And we're also going to take a look at metrics for ETH. A couple of things here. So this is CryptoQuant.com. If you guys don't have an account, I'd highly recommend it. It's free. And it kind of gives you, not only does it give you the numbers, and you can like really go to like any chart you want. You can throw on EMA bands. You can create your own dashboards, but you can just go to like the main page and you can click on summary, and it not only gives you the numbers, but it tells you what it means. So example, exchange reserve, right? Reserves on exchanges has decreased, meaning lower selling pressure, right? Sentiment across the board is obviously bad. You take a look at something like the miner position index. This is something I was looking at. Looks like miners are actively selling. Okay. Let's look at miner flows. And where is the MPI? The miner position index. Should be here somewhere. Miner outflow, no. Miner reserve, okay, this is telling us the same thing. And so miner reserves, right? How much miners have in their wallets has been trending down. Part of it obviously is the halving, right? They're producing less. Other part of it could be, are they selling? I mean, you see the inverse relation to miners, miner reserves and the price of BTC, as you see in blue is the miner reserve, and in white is the Bitcoin reserve, or is the price of BTC. And so you look at some things like that. You take a look at something like your binary CDD, right? Which is how long each coin is, like, how long have they held each coin for, and the value of that. And obviously the higher value, the longer. And the other thing I wanted to share too is this one was posted by Vivek, not Vivek Ramaswamy, but this is a chart, right? Bitcoin's realized cap, old whales versus new whales, right? And new whales are in purple, old whales are in orange. And you see new whales have just continued to add, right? Their realized cap has crossed $200 billion. So we're kind of seeing the older whales not really accumulating, although a little bit. We saw a little bit of a sell-off here. Let me see if I can zoom in on this one part, right? And this is not an interactive chart. This is just a post on X. That's why I can't really click on it. But you see old whales started selling, and then the new whales just stepped in. And so while retail and the average person, probably not you, because you're here watching the show, right? You're learning. Those people are selling, right? The retail person, the person who sees Bitcoin's price drop $5,000, oh my God, it's over, I'm selling it. That's going to be the same person that comes back at $130,000 and decides to buy. And the people that are buying the dip are going to be, are going to find themselves in a very good financial position. And so that's something interesting I saw. And the other thing I wanted to share was, we talked about this morning. NVIDIA's revenue report finally came out, their earnings report. $39.3 billion in revenue for Q4. $40 billion in revenue in Q4, which is 2.7% higher than forecasted. A lot of people were on edge about NVIDIA. It's part of the Magnificent Seven. It's really a key player in holding up the S&P 500. It really is. I mean, I forget what the ratios are, but I think they call them the Magnificent Seven. The top seven are like 40% of the entirety of the S&P 500, market cap wise, and obviously price action wise also. So that came in good, but didn't really move the markets. Is that the reason we saw a little bit of a rally? And we're kind of seeing it now too for BTC, as we're officially back over $85,000. But again, to me, this would be a great short opportunity at 85 or at 86,000. To me, would be a great short opportunity. Actually, let me see if, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm actually going to put in a limit trade on BTC here. I might actually have one on in as well. And so bear with me, guys. Also, again, if there's anything you want me to take a look at, let me know in the chat. Also, if you're new here, welcome. I'm just trying to log into this account here and put in a limit order on BTC. I could have swore I had another limit order in. Just bear with me as I sign in. And of course, it wants a verification code. I'll kind of show you. This will be a good walkthrough, especially for anyone maybe interested in using the platform to sign up. But there you go, 288958. All right, we're in. We are in. Let's take a look. Do we have any trades open now? We got wrecked. We got completely wrecked on a Bitcoin long trade at 91. Man, I thought that level was going to hold, and it just completely free fell, right? We had a little bit of we had price trading outside of the lower Bollinger Band, and I was expecting that thing to come right back in. It didn't, and then so that thing, we closed it at a big L. And so just to kind of show you guys, not everything is not everything is all rosy in trading. You do take some L's. So I want to put in a limit order here, and I want to put it in right underneath. So it will go 85,818. We'll do a short limit order on BTC. We'll go limit, isolated. Let's go. Let's go 12x. Limit order. What did I say? 85. Said 85, 825, 85. 85, 825 for BTC. Whoa. There you go. 85, 825. Let's do, let's do 750 bucks. 750 bucks. Limit order, BTC, 12x isolated, and we're going to put in a short position. So when you go here, you'll see the limit order, enter into a short position once Bitcoin hits that 86 or 85,825 level. Because again, what we saw here, bear flag, break to the downside, and we're seeing the same setup, bear flag, break to the downside. Now this order might not fill. It might not get to that 85.8 level, but it looks like we're having a little bit of, and we're back down under 85K. But either way, I'm pretty confident. Could I be wrong? Sure. If it goes up, I want to see it reclaim 86.5. If it reclaims 86.5, you're looking at 89, and then that key level of 82.5, 82,449. So, all right. Go back to the chart here. Take a peek. Some of the people. Gabriel Gonzalez says Solana is 0. I disagree. ICP to 0. Also disagree. Tommy Twista said, I signed up for ByteDeFi yesterday. Had to do KYC from Canada. Huh. So they allow you to do KYC, Tommy, but it's not mandatory. And you can withdraw up to 1 Bitcoin. I believe it's a day or a week. So I don't know if you did it on your own accord, but I'm in the US and I did not have to KYC. Mr. Pushpa said, love your HBAR videos. I love that you love our HBAR videos. Thank you so much, my friend. Who else is in here? Mario said, wow, what's up, Mario? Actually, Mario and I were kind of chatting. We're kind of chatting in Discord. Oriana, dude, where did you go this morning? You were the winner. I picked you to win the $100. And then at the end, you weren't there. And so we had to do a drawing. So there's a lesson in that. Stay to the end of the shows because you never know. You know, we're very spontaneous people, both Rob and I. So you never know what we'll do. Definitely appreciate you as usual. Anytime, Irish Red, I appreciate you. Laser said, love your videos. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. And beautiful night. It is, you know, it's really nice out. Also, I'm getting some work done back here. So you see, I know it looks, I mean, the pages behind me are great. Love Caspa, love Cardano. But need a little more oomph in my setup. And so I got my my guy coming over, my handyman coming over later today. Going to put some of those, some badass sound panels back there with some RGB lights. It's going to look really, really good. All right, let's take a look at some volume flows. Where has money been flowing in? Where has money been flowing out? This is on the daily. I would like to start on the hour. And let's say where money has flown in, BTC, ETH, and you got a little, so around 50 million has flown into, has gone into Bitcoin, majority of them from stables and fiat, right? You have FDUSD, Korean won, Euro, and USDT. You have around $10 million worth of ETH that flowed into that protocol, and XRP saw inflows of 3.1 million. Now the outflows, BTC saw 8 million of outflows directly into fiat currencies. You saw Cato, again, flow out into stable coins or fiat currency, and ETH saw 2.7 million. Excuse me. Now, if we zoom out to the day, the biggest inflows looks like it was ETH. 17 million. Actually, I lied. It's BTC. 28 million flowed in to Bitcoin from fiat, from Litecoin. You have a little bit from BNB. And then some flowed in from Rune, ETH, Doge, and XRP. Your biggest outflow days, though, right? 481 flowed out, and 28 million flowed in. Okay, now obviously that's a pretty big gap. I wish this had net flow, right? But it doesn't. So we got to do it by manually. Also, XRP saw around $108 million of outflows, with a majority of it, all of it, going to stables and fiat currency. And same thing with literally everything else. People are just going risk off. Wall Street is scared. The average person is scared. We're not scared. We're here to make money. Here is RWAs. Now, as promised, talk a little bit about RWAs and stable coins. I have 6 projects I want to share with you guys. So if you haven't liked the video, make sure to like the video. You know, we really front ran that AI narrative. I made a shitload of money on AI. Took some good profits. I know some people who also made a lot of money in AI. We kind of started riding that trend back in October, November of last year. I really think RWA is going to be the next big leg up. I think RWA, and I'm going to include stable coins, right? Because real world assets, you're digitizing dollars or fiat currencies, which is a real world asset. I don't know if you call it an asset, but, and then, you know, you're doing it on chain. AI and gaming, I think. Gaming, especially with the release of GTA 6, I think gaming is going to be a big narrative. I'm not going to focus on gaming today. I'm going to focus on mostly stables and RWAs, but here's your RWA league table, okay? You have Ethereum with 53% market share. Why do you guys think I continuously push back on the man that is on my shirt? Is we'll sit here and we'll say RWA is going to be a huge narrative, but we'll also sit here and say that the project that has 53% market share is somehow not a good investment. So I'm not one of those people. Rob, you know what I'm talking about? But ETH, I'm telling you, man, I know it's slow. I know it's expensive. I know it's the retailers that you're not really going to use it. There's so many things you can point to and say, well, I don't know. But when you look at a chart like this, and you look at companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, Bank of America, and everything else, how can you not be an ETH bull? I don't know. I'm not saying, you know, maybe it doesn't outperform Bitcoin. Maybe it does. I don't care. But not having any ETH in your portfolio, I think, is a major L. And then you have Stellar Lumens, which 30-day on the value is up 38%. Market share is at 5.4%. ZK Sync, 25% market share, up 791% from the last 30 days. A few that people aren't talking about, one is Polygon, and the other one is Solana. Now, I know the market share is pretty low on Solana, but we know Solana is a favorite for stable coins. It's a favorite of institutions. We know Risa did an entire write-up on it. Speaking of stable coins, a few projects I want to share. One is Curve DAO token. This is in the stable coin war narrative, so to say. I think this one, and you know what, we'll actually pull up the chart here too. Let's go CRV. Oh, I already had it on here. Cool. So this is Curve. Ooh, that's a ugly. That's a 1 hour. Let's zoom out to the monthly. Let's see if we're at any discount zone. Let's see if, and this thing is, ooh, this is an ugly chart. This is an ugly chart. So if this thing gains any sort of market value, I mean, you're at like low lows, right? This thing ran all the way up to, my God, how big is this wick? This thing ran all the way up to $23 and it's sitting at 46 cents, right? So this thing has been at rock bottom really since the bear market. So why am I saying this is one to keep on your radar? Because it fits the exact narrative that A, we're going to see legislation on first, and B, that companies and large institutions are starting to launch services in their sector. The other one is convex finance, and I hope the chart looks a little better than that one. CVX. Let's go CVX, Binance. Now, convex finance does the same thing, and again, same chart, right? Just down and bleed. Literally like, you know, no significant amount of volume. You go to the daily chart here for convex finance. Now, if you don't believe in the resurgence or the importance of stable coins and that having a big market share, then sure. But this thing ran from $1.40, okay, the move here from the low of around $1.43. This thing rallied 460% in 30 days. A 5.5x in 30 days from convex finance. Now, again, fits into that stablecoin narrative. The other one is MakerDAO. Okay, MakerDAO is another one. They are the issuer of the DAI stablecoin token. I know you're looking at it, you're like, damn, that is an expensive price. But let's take a look. It's because of tokenomics, the price is super low. But MakerDAO, here is let's zoom out to the month. Much better looking chart. Had this massive cup and handle pattern that just completely failed. Look at this. Talk about failure to launch, dude. This was a cup and handle pattern that completely didn't do what it was supposed to do. But I don't know why that's so funny, but it's hilarious. All right. So on the monthly, I would argue this would be your initial discount zone. And obviously we broke below it. And the bottom end of this is going to be $2,100, which we came back to retest and failed. And then the next one, again, you're there, right? I mean, like, do you even plot this, right? Do you even plot like the all-time low? Obviously, if you think the project's going to bounce back, do I need to tell you the all-time low is a good entry if you believe in the project? And so MakerDAO is another one. The other one that I'm also very bullish on is Athena, ENA. I have a pretty large position on Athena. My cost basis, I was able to bring it down. It was around 82 cents, 83 cents. I bought a little bit when it got to sub 40 cents. I had some limit orders put in at sub 40 cents. I also bought some around 42 cents. So I brought my cost basis down to close to like 60, 65. The funding rates have just been demolished for ENA. But again, this is an institutional solution for stablecoin and yields. And so again, a failed cup and handle pattern, right? If we zoom out to the weekly for Athena, again, I'm not even gonna place a rectangle here. You guys already know. Again, a failure to launch out of this. Now on the daily for Athena, right? Again, you have this cup and handle that it actually broke out, although the upside was limited. You can call, oh, this is actually an Adam and Eve pattern, right? Come into a cup, and then you have this V-shaped recovery, and then a little bit downside, and then you push it up. And so we had a double top on Athena, just kind of like we had on really everything, including BTC. But the overall move from the low, I mean, you're at your 786 level. So again, unless you don't believe in the project, unless you don't believe in stable coins, I mean, how much lower do you want this thing to go? And don't forget, this thing ran to $1.32 back in December of last year. The other one is going to be Asymmetry Finance. This is something we put in our Patreon. This was about 2 weeks ago. We told our Patreon members about this project. And it looks like, I guess we can take a look here. You know what? I'm actually going to go to Dex Tools and look there. ASF, asymmetry finance. There we go. All right. Let's go to the daily on asymmetry finance. There we go. I'm actually going to expand this out just a little bit. All right, so asymmetry finance, this thing was at around, I think it was at like $2.40, $2.25 or 30 cents when we first put it out in our Patreon. So it is down since then. But this is a project that is backed by big industry players, that is funded by, I want to say either Franklin Templeton or Fidelity. You know what? Let's just check together. Let's check together because I don't want to give you guys any false info. Yes, I understand. Fidelity. Okay. Backed by Fidelity, Frax, and Republic Capital, right? So it's got pretty big names behind it. It fits into the stablecoin narrative. So to me, this is another one you should have on your radar. And from a high of around $5 to what, $1.13? Where's this thing sitting at? $1.18? And it's at a key level as well, right? So $1.21, $1.18. This is another one to add on your radar. And the last one is a little lower on the market cap list, which is Goldfinch. A lot more risk, only 27 million in market cap. But you take a look at the Goldfinch chart, GFI. Let's go GFI, US dollar, Coinbase. Thank you, Coinbase. Month, we broke the previous support. Week, you're at support. You broke previous support, and we zoom into the daily. Again, this one is definitely more higher risk, Goldfinch. But if you want something high risk and potentially very high reward, you're talking about a project, and we can even look here, right? You can see how this thing flipped the resistance to support and has just been grinding down along this trend line. Dude, you're supposed to go up. You're not supposed to come back down and spend time there. So those are 6: Curve, Convex, MakerDAO, Athena, Asymmetry Finance, and Goldfinch. My highest risk to reward for me personally is going to be Athena. My highest risk period is Goldfinch. And I would say I don't want to say safest because anything can happen, but Curve and Convex and even MakerDAO, you'll make money on those as long as the stablecoin narrative and that whole institutional side gets going, which I think it is. I think to me, it's an easy play. So, all right, my friends, that'll do it for the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I go, I saw a super chat from Dark Energy said thoughts on GRT with possible increased adoption within DeFi, worth looking at or keeping. You know, I used to love GRT, and I'm not saying like I don't like it now, but I just think it's one of those things where, you know, it's like the Google of blockchain, right? Queries information and data. And you know what? Dark Energy, I guess I can look at a chart before I leave. GRT. Let's look at the month. I mean, it's not a pretty chart, but then again, I showed you like 10 of them that were not pretty, right? That were kind of ugly charts. And this thing looks like it kind of broke out of a head and shoulders pattern. And if we zoom out to the weekly, you know, we have been making higher lows, right? We have been making higher lows, so that's a good thing. And then we kind of flip that into resistance, as you can see here, kind of clear as day on the weekly chart, a weekly head and shoulders pattern, right? I mean, it's kind of a messed up one, but either way, you have your head, you have your two shoulders, you have your head, and this thing broke to the downside. And, you know, some can argue, well, this is the head. Either way, this was a pattern that ended up breaking to the downside. And so I don't know, for me, I feel like a lot of these blockchains and they're kind of, or dApps are building in the ecosystem that do what GRT does. So I don't personally have any. I don't think it's a bad project, but I think you could probably make better returns elsewhere. I mean, even you take a look at this, just super zoomed out, we couldn't take out that high from March on this recent pump. So how much lower can it go? I mean, we're pretty much at literally rock bottom. Rock bottom would be, 5.3 cents. So we're 50% off of being at rock bottom for this chart. So I don't know. It's not something I hold, but hey, if it's something you've thoroughly researched and you believe in the thesis, hey man, go with your gut, brother. Anyone know the Sin City copy trade name for Buy DeFi? Yeah, it's Sin City. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to like the video on your way out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for support. And come back tomorrow for the AM stream. We'll be over 85K or under 85K for BTC. Should be an exciting day. So love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.